Hello everyone, this is Mexicali Fish Keeper. Hey, welcome back to my fish room. On the last video that I put up, I was talking to you guys how I go out and locally source sand and rocks for my aquarium when I want to do some scaping in a tank. And in that video I mentioned that I had a 75-gallon tank that was in the process of setting up. I've already done the sifting of the sand and the gravel and separated those materials. So I was getting ready to set up that tank and I placed it up on the rack. And in the process of prepping it to start scaping it, I noticed something that caught my attention. And I want to share that with you guys right now. I'm going to go ahead and take you over to that tank and show you what I'm talking about. And hopefully the way that I'm going to fix that problem so that I don't have any issues once that tank is filled with water. Alright, so come with me. Okay, so this is a 75-gallon tank that I was talking about setting up. And as you can see, it's sitting on that top shelf of that rack. If you look at it from here, it doesn't seem like there's anything out of the norm until you start looking a little bit closer, especially if you look where the tank sits and it touches the surface of that wood that it's sitting on there. If you notice, you can see some light coming through there, and that's not necessarily a good thing. That means that that surface that that tank's sitting on is not perfectly level and it's not making full contact with the frame of that aquarium. My concern is that once you fill it up with water, that could create some torsion within the tank, and that could potentially either crack one of the panels on this aquarium, or where the weakest points are would be the seams, and causing one of those seams to break. And so when I came across that issue, I did what most of us would do, is I went on YouTube and tried to find if somebody had dealt with that situation. And I was able to find a couple of remedies for that problem. One of the things that I saw is that you can use a foam material and place it under the tank, kind of like what they do with acrylics. That's pretty much what I've done with that acrylic tank right there where the goldfish are at. If you look closely under there, it's got a foam padding, because my understanding was acrylic tanks, you have to do that too. The glass tanks, they usually have this plastic frame, and that's supposed to be able to help with having any issues when it comes to torsion and stuff like that. But that gap still is a little bit concerning for me. So what I'm going to do is I went to my local hardware store, the big box stores, and I found this insulation kit. It's 3/4 inch foam, and the lengths are 48-inch long, which I was pretty excited when I saw that, because I thought, all right, I'll just take one of those sheets and place it under the tank. The problem is, this is an 18-inch tank, and these are only about 14.5 inches. So instead of being able to use it lengthwise, I'm gonna have to cut several pieces and use them widthwide, and be able to fill that space under there. That was pretty cheap. You get about 6 sheets of that 3/4 inch plywood insulation foam, and it was only about $11. So I'm hoping to be able to place all those all that foam under that, right under there, and hopefully that'll absorb some of that unevenness and prevent that aquarium from having any problems in the future. So next I'll show you guys how I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so what I did, I went and measured the size of that frame to see how wide it was, and the exterior, the outside part of that frame is 18.5 inches. So what I've done, I've taken this panel and I measured out 18.5 inches, and then I'm going to cut it. And I'm thinking I'm going to need about 4 of these sections to be able to sit under that aquarium. And I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Cut them out, and once I've got them under there, I'll show you what it's going to look like, and then we'll put that tank up on there, and I'll show you when it's all done. All right, hang on. All right, so I went ahead and cut the sections out. I ended up using about three sections and a little portion about 5 inches more of another of the panels. So I ended up using like 2.5 panels in total. I was able to get it. Now I've got the tank sitting on them, and hopefully that's going to resolve that issue. Any imperfections or gaps that are in there, as the weight of the water crushes down on the surface of that styrofoam, it'll condense, it'll compress where the pressure points are, and then level out where the voids are at. And that's the purpose of having that on there. Next thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to start scaping this so that I can go ahead and move the aquariums in there and be able to get them out of my where they're currently being housed, which is in this 55 down here. And I want to move these guys, especially because the one you see on the far left, he's kind of spends his time there because these two over here, I believe, are a couple, and they've got a kind of cornered. So I need to be able to get him out, get him some more room to move around. I don't like the fact that he's kind of always pinned in that section of the tank. So that's the whole purpose of this. I'm going to try to be able to scape it in a way that I provide some hideouts for the fish, and hopefully be able to keep them here, and that'll be their permanent tank. So next video you guys be watching, hopefully it'll be the process of me scaping this. It is going to be a planted tank. I'm still in the process of trying to figure out whether I want to use dirt in that tank, knowing that the aquariums can sometimes dig the surface the substrate to nest. So that's the issue that I have. So I'll see what I end up doing. I've been watching MD fish tanks, and I know that he puts nutritional substrate in plastic little mesh bags. And that seems like a good idea. If I can find something here locally that's similar to that, I might go that route with my dirt or soil for the substrate on this, where I want to put plants, because I definitely do want to put plants, and because I have them in all my tanks. So we'll see what happens. Well, all of them except the goldfish, because they'll eat everything I put in there. All right, I'll talk to you guys on the next one. You guys stay safe. Bye.